You're watching Tackle Talk Live, now into our 6th season as your #1 resource for bass tournament information, with a primary focus on both Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Your hosts, Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff and Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, Kevin Jean. Two guys with years of successful tournament experience on all levels. Guys who understand the importance of good information. Anglers willing to share their knowledge to help you become a better angler. So pay close attention as these guys give you more insight on how, when, and where to catch winning stringers. Here are your hosts of Tackle Talk Live, Steve Graff and Kevin Jean.
Hello, fellow anglers. This is Tackle Talk Live. I'm Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, Brother Kevin Jean down there in Lafayette, Louisiana. And Kevin, last week Toledo Bend was on fire. This week is Sam Rayburn. I mean, what is going on? The lakes in our area right now are putting out unbelievable stringers right now.
Well, it's just that time of year, Steve, when it's happening. The fish are on the move. They're ready to eat. They're trying to move up. It's going down. We had our first 40-pound stringer of the year. We have one every year. And, Steve, thinking back at it, it's like it always happens in the Texas Team Trail. Remember Danny Osnem had that unbelievable stringer, 45, 40, I forget what they had. I think 2 years ago, we had Danny on the show afterwards. That was Texas Team Trail. It seems like Texas Team Trail always hits the nail on the head with their scheduling and when it is going down on a lake. Because, again, it takes 41 pounds to win this past weekend. Texas Team Trail, you had 10 bags over 20. It was impressive, no doubt.
Yeah, when you're weighing 20-pound bag, you're not even getting a check. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, it just continues right now. Like I said, Sam Rayburn is hot. Toledo Bend is hot. Lake of the Pines is hot. I know this coming up. There's Caddo coming up this weekend. They got a tournament. The first ABA Louisiana Division event takes place on Caddo coming up this next weekend. And, of course, we all know what Caddo is capable of. It can be really good there as well. But, Kevin, we got some weather coming in. Already today, the temperatures have dropped in the upper 50s, upper 40s, low 50s this morning. And it's supposed to kind of stay like this the rest of the week, but we got a lot of rain coming too.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. The rain, because it's not going to be a cold rain, but it's not going to be a warm rain either. It's going to be, I think it's going to drop the water temperature just a little bit. Steve, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to drop it enough to affect those fish. Talking to a buddy of mine a while ago that was on Toledo Bend Saturday, he said Saturday afternoon, the water temperature was 63, 64. So I don't see this affecting the water temp, therefore affecting the fish a whole lot.
Yeah, and the other thing too, they're talking up to 2 inches, which isn't like, they ain't like getting 5 or 6 inches, but it may muddy the back ends of the creeks up a little bit, and may push some fish out just a little bit more. But overall, I'm telling you right now, I know when I was at Lake of the Pines, and again, I probably would have had maybe 18 pounds on Thursday, but
you wouldn't have got a check at Pines for that.
Got a check. My point is 3 of my best 5 came out of 2 foot of water or less. Yeah. And I was like, wow. So, I mean, they're getting ready.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're getting ready to spawn? Maybe not, but they're pulling up, warming. They're roaming. There's going to be some early spawners.
Steve, you're going to have a group, Toledo and Sam Rayburn, you're going to have a group that's done spawning before March 1st. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. No. They will be done before March 1st. But anyway, man, look, today we got Riley Harris on the show, winner of Texas Team Show. They weighed in early, Steve. They weighed in like at noon on Saturday with 41 pounds. It's going to be interesting to hear. I haven't talked to him about how it went down yet or what went down. It had to have went down pretty quick for you to weigh in at noon with 41. So, man, I think it's going to be a really good story. Riley's been a hot stick over there. He had I think he caught a 13 in the fall or the winter. We'll have to ask him about that one. He caught a big fish. I remember that. I remember how big it was, but he caught a big fish in the winter over there. So we'll get his story on that and also get his opinion on this open this week over there at Sam Rayburn, what he thinks will go down.
Yeah, well, my bigger question is, what did he do for lunch after he weighed in that day? Did they go get a burger? Did they order pizza? What did they do?
Yeah.
But anyway, we got that going on. Again, we'll wrap up the a new circuit that we've just found out about, Elite Outdoors Tournament on Lake of the Pines. They've got a new series over there called King of the Pines. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. We got tip of the week. Kevin's got a Shimano product preview. And but anyway, we're going to take a little quick break here to recognize a few of our sponsors. When we return, we'll visit with Riley Harris, who, along with his partner, Luke Potter, they won event number 1 for the Texas Team Trail. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category, Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. If you need insurance for that truck, boat, home, whatever you got, hey, go see those guys at the Lakes Insurance. Toledo Health Clinic. Get a hook in your finger, hook in the hand. Hey, can't get it out on your own, like me. Just go there. They'll pull it out with no problem. Cypress Knee Outdoors, John Abraham and the gang down there. Great selection of bait and tackle down there. Shimano, Kevin on board with Shimano now. And Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. And if you mention Tackle Talk Live, you'll get two choices. $500 off the purchase of a new or used boat, or you can get $50 off your first service ticket. But you've got to say you heard it on Tackle Talk Live. All right, on the Tackle Talk Live hotline, we've got Riley Harris, who is part of the winning team from the Texas Team Trail. Him and his partner, Luke Potter, won this event. And I guess the first question, Riley, my first question is, where did y'all eat lunch after you weighed in early?
We went to the stump for sure.
Is that not the best feeling, to sit down at the stump eating lunch while the tournament is going on?
Yeah.
Man, it was honestly crazy. Me and Luke and the rest of the family were just kind of sitting there, and we were kind of just looking at each other like, did that really just happen? Is it for real?
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, too, Riley, in the back of your mind, you had to be thinking, man, somebody weighed in 47 last year around this time. You had to be thinking it's Rayburn. It can anything can happen here.
No, for sure. We definitely were. We were done at around 9, and Luke and I looked at each other and we were like, man, I don't know if we can cull a 7 anywhere else. And the wind was starting to pick up, and we decided, hey, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, it's just not our time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, before we jump into the tournament, like I do with all our guests here, I want to hear about practice. I want to know, I know Texas Team Show, you have one day of practice before. Did you know these fish were there? And we'll talk in more tournament day and how it all went down. But did you have these fish located? Did you know what size they were? Just kind of take me through the practice the day before the tournament.
So practice, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew the fish during the Toyota were doing some crazy things. So in my mind, I wanted to start out way offshore and work my way in until I found them, because we had 4 or 5 days of really warm weather, and I knew they were way offshore at the time. So we started out on Friday morning, and we just started working our way in, and we ended up getting to a spot, and we could see a group of them up there. It was only 5 or 6, and we fired up there. We caught a 7, and we decided to leave it. And then we had found another spot about 200 yards away, and we caught a 5 off of it. And practice was, honestly, it was pretty good for sure. We knew we had those 2 spots.
Let me ask you this, Riley. Let me ask you this. In practice, you say you found some. There's a lot of ways to do that now. Are you looking at them on your scope, or are you finding them on your electronics, down scan, side scan kind of thing?
We did both. This one area where we ended up winning it at, I found it on 360 and scope.
Gotcha.
I knew of it, and we went to it, and they just happened to be there. And, we caught one, and we were like, okay, that's all we needed to see, and kept moving.
Riley, how long have you been fishing tournaments? About how long?
Man, I was in it during high school for a long time. I mean, I grew up fishing tournaments, got out of it for a couple years after high school, and I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, I really got into it hard again.
Now, here's where I'm wanting to go. Okay, you ain't been in it that long. When you used to practice, for me, I'm 64 years old. My idea of practice is going out and flipping and pitching and chunking and winding and running here and running there and trying to find them. Have you changed how you scout based off the new forward-facing sonar? Has it changed how you scout?
Oh, for sure. I always have it on, whether I'm going to catch them with scope or not. I can always learn something from it. I mean, it's such a learning tool. I can pull up to those spots, and I mean, this spot in particular, we could see them on 360 and live. They were on the bottom, but for sure, we definitely always use it when we can.
Yeah. All right, tournament day. Take me through it. Boat number? Did you go right straight to the spot that it happened? Just take me through the day.
It didn't take long.
The morning.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It was trailering, so we launched. We were able to get to our spot, and I think first cast was at 7. So we sat on it for, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes before first cast. And it was, soon as we were able to throw, it was crazy. I turned the scope on in 360, and I looked out there, and I told Luke, I was like, I mean, I can't say it word for word, but I was like, man, they are there. And first cast for me, we don't know who caught the 10, but one of us caught an 8.5. And while I was unhooking mine and getting my crankbait out of the net, he threw in there and he caught one. So at 7:05ish, we already had 19 in the boat on 2, and I think they scattered, so we just kept moving around, and we could see little pods of them on the bottom, and man, they just weren't saying no to it. It was crazy. I think by 7:30 we had around mid-30s.
And so you caught a 10. So 10 was your biggest, 7 was your smallest, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we think 7 and a quarter, something like that, was our smallest.
And I read, I don't know if it was your social media or Texas Team Trails, but y'all throwing the crankbait, the 6 cents crankbait.
Yes, sir. We're throwing a 400 DD.
Yeah.
So every fish came cranking. I mean, you have to drag a rig or nothing like that.
No, we thought we were gonna have to drag, and we never really got the chance. You know, we kept that crank in our hand the whole time, and then we did pick up an Aussie, and we caught a few on that, but nothing that really helped us. I think me and Luke did the math yesterday. We caught another 30 pounds that we had threw back and cold. It was the craziest thing that I've ever been a part of and seen.
And that was my next question. You said you fished to about 9. I mean, was it from 7 to 9? It went down like that? I mean, it had to for y'all to caught a 41-pound bag and you threw back a 30-pound bag.
Yes, sir. It was crazy. I looked at him one time, and the last fish we culled was like a hair over 7. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm sick to my stomach throwing this one back. Like, this shouldn't be happening.
How many times did you look in the live one and go, are we sure that we don't need this one?
Yeah. Do we have 5?
Yeah, it was, we honestly had no idea what to do. It was a blur, but we were trying to stay focused.
Yeah.
How many fish total did you say you caught in that time frame?
I would think that we caught around 15.
Wow. That's incredible.
So 9 o'clock rolls around. Yes, you got 41 pounds. I mean, of course, it's in your head. What time did y'all actually weigh in?
I think we put the boat back on the trailer at 10, and we weren't allowed to check in or put anything on the scales till 12. So we sat in the parking lot and waited for the family to get up there. And as soon as they opened the scales, we went and weighed in.
Gotcha.
And then he went and got a burger.
We did.
All right, this week, Riley, you know, you got the BAS Open coming in there, and some really good hammers are going to be fishing this event. You know, got a little cool front has come through. It's kind of cooled things down again. How's the lake going to fish? We got possibly 2 inches of rain expected. Going to be some water coming in on the upper end of the lake. How's the lake going to fish this week for these guys fishing the Open?
Man, I mean, I think that it'll still be one, you know, offshore or on some kind of structure like that. I don't know. It'd really be hard to say. I don't think that you can win the whole thing up shallow. If you have a couple spots where you can pick off a couple good ones, you know, that'll definitely benefit them. But I think it'll still be one offshore for sure.
Right, let's go back here. I want to recap here in my brain how you saying it went down on Saturday. One question I have is how you said the fish was on bottom, you was cranking. How deep was the actual spot?
It was, I would say, around 15 to 16.
Yeah. So you was cranking, hitting bottom, probably most likely at 400.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What color crankbaits? Because you don't have a tournament till March now. What color crankbait were we throwing?
Oh, you know, it's the Sam Rayburn, you know, staple. I mean, you can't go wrong with that powder blue chartreuse.
There you go.
Yeah. Riley, was any grass in the area you were fishing?
No, sir.
No. Yeah. It's just good structure. Oh.
Right. I mean, we had found some fish in practice on grass. Wasn't anything like big, but we could definitely go up there and catch a couple 3s and 4s if we needed to.
It looked like, because there was a lot of weights between that 14 to all the way up to 17, 18 pounds. It looked, I probably was a good trap bite going on, if I had to guess, because those are trap type stringers.
For sure. And, it made sense to be up shallow during that event with how warm it had been. But like I said, and, I talked to Luke, like I knew what the fish were doing during the Toyota, and it was really frustrating because I've never seen fish do that on Rayburn. And that's why I wanted to start offshore and just work my way in until I eventually found them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, Riley, you caught a big fish back fall, winter. How big? Did you catch a 13?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did.
I thought you did. When did you catch that one?
That was in November.
November. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I was practicing for the Outlaw Toy Bash, and I caught a 1379.
Was that scope?
Right.
Sir?
Was that scope, or was you cranking?
No, sir. That I was looking at the pile, and I threw a jig, but I didn't know what it was when I caught her.
How close was that fish to the spot where you actually won this tournament?
That'd be hard to say. Probably a mile or 2.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like real close. Okay.
No, sure.
Riley, man, congratulations. I mean, it's what dreams are made of. It's what all of us dream about doing. And like it says, having lunch, coming away in 40 pounds early, getting to eat lunch and coming back and kind of watching it go down. But congratulations, man. You're off to a heck of a start for the year. And I know you had a good fall. You had a good winter, a heck of a start for the spring, and best of luck going forward, man.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Riley Harris, man, part of the winning team. Him and Luke Potter, they brought 41 pounds of fish. And Kevin, I've never been fortunate enough to land on them like that, in any event. And again, I'm 64 years old, been doing this since 1995. I've had some good starts to tournaments, but I've never had one like that. That's one of them once in a lifetime deals.
Yeah. I mean, landing on them like that and, having a good start. I mean, I've caught 20 in, 20 minutes before, but not 40. Yeah. That's a whole nother ball game. And Steve, hearing that they threw back a 30-pound stringer.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could have had first and second place in this tournament with 2 stringers.
Exactly.
That's impressive. He definitely had landed on the mother load. That's and catch them cranking like that too. That's what dreams are made of. To pull up and and throwing that one spot, one area. He said he had to move around a little bit because they broke up. But wow, I mean, yeah, that's what we all dream of for sure.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we return, we've got lake level reports, tip of the week, Shimano product preview, upcoming tournaments. And so we've got all this and much more. We've also going to wrap up. We'll give you some more details on the results of the Elite Outdoors King of the Pines event and the Texas Team Trail final results. We've got those results as well. So we'll be right back with more Tackle Talk Live.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. Or give him a call at 936-205-4467. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to the final segment here today on Tackle Talk Live. This segment presented by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Toledo Health Clinic, right there at Toledo Town, Cypress Knee Outdoors, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located in Iowa, Louisiana. Kevin, you mentioned Tackle Talk Live. What happens?
You get $500 off the purchase of any new or used boat, or you get $50 off your service ticket. So make sure, mention Tackle Talk Live to the guys over there at Power Implements Marine.
All right. Well, moving right along here, Kevin, I've got the Lake of the Pines event, the Elite Outdoors King of Pines tournament trail that they are calling this. Had a really good turnout for this. I think they had almost over right at 60 teams show up for this event. The team of Dottie and South came in with 5 fish for $33.15 to win this event. Reynolds and Foggle. Foggle, he's the one that won Angler of the Year in the ABA solo not solo 150s, but in the pro team trail the pro tournament trail, it's an individual trail. I was actually runner up to him for the Angler of the Year, and Reynolds and Foggle, they came in with 31.84. This is their home lake. Thibodeau and Bowman, they came in with 29.72. Miller and Olson were fourth with 29.10. McPherson and Huffman were fifth with 27.28. You know, and Kevin, when you're coming in with 27, 28 pounds, you think, okay, we're going to probably win this thing. And you finish fourth. Yeah. You know, that just tells you how good right now some of these lakes are fishing, especially Lake of the Pines. Let's see here. Sixth place was Simpson and Harris. They had 26.52. Brazier and Wilson had 26.17 for seventh. Lindsay and Antunes was eighth with 25.96. Osborne and Burge were ninth with 24.74. Holmes and Tunnel rounded out the top 10 with 23.71. And just looking on down, you have to go all the way down to 15 pounds to in the top, to make the top 40 and have 15 or better. So congratulations to those guys. We'll follow this King of the Pines deal a little bit closer. I was contacted by them on Facebook, and so we'll try to give them some love as well, Kevin.
Yep. And kind of going back off the Texas team trail results, Riley Harris, Lane Potter had 41.09. Second place was Glenn Webb. Steve Lane had 25.04. Third place, Hayden Heck. Milton Adams had 23.06. Fourth place, I see Kelsey Thompson let Cole Moore fish with her. She had 22.14. Fifth place, Wyatt Franken. Shane Campbell had 22.09. Sixth place, Anthony Fernando. Shane Logan had 21.15. 21.07, 21.04, 20.05, 20 pounds even. 10th place, tied was 20 pounds. So he had 11 bags over 20, Steve. So it was, you know, that's 20 pounds even to get tied for 10th place.
Yeah. And just by the way, in case people are wondering, Texas Team Trail, they had I think a little over 200 teams show up.
Yeah.
And not what their numbers used to be. We all know they used to run close to 400, but Kevin, I mean, a lot of guys. Yeah, I guess the question still remains: is forward-facing sonar keeping guys from fishing tournaments again?
I don't know, Steve. That's a pretty good turnout for right now. Not a lot of guys are hitting that 200 team mark.
Yeah.
So that was a good turnout. But man, it was a beautiful week. I mean, you could not have asked for a better weekend for fishing. So everybody was ready to get out the house. and go fishing. So I consider that a good tournament. It's not what it was 7 years ago. By no means we was getting 300 boats, but 200 is a good number nowadays for sure.
Well, I know I've been going to Lake of the Pines in the middle of the week, usually on Thursday, the day after my other program I'm involved with, and it hadn't been too bad on as far as crowds, but boy, a lot of my buddies have been going on the weekends, and it has been take a number on some of these creeks that they're trying to get into. Boats everywhere. Crappie fishermen are full swing. Bass fishermen are in full swing. So be patient at the boat ramps. Be patient, with some of these people that aren't good at backing the boat down the ramp. Try to maintain your cool.
Yeah.
So, and
Steve, let me say this, guys. Results. Steve and I, both have full-time jobs and stay busy, and it's hard for us to track down a lot of these results. So I know there was a high school tournament on Toledo Bend this past weekend. I don't have the results for. I apologize, but if you can, please send us results in. You can send them straight. DM us on the Facebook page, on the Tackle Talk page. You can send them to me on my cell, or you can send me a message on Facebook. I'll get it. I check it as much as possible because I have a lot of messages that come through for Tackle Talk. But send us results. If you have a club term or something that somebody caught a mega bag, send that to us, guys. There's a lot of times we don't know or we don't hear about some things. Like I said, I know there was a huge high school tournament on Toledo Bend on Saturday. I just don't have the results for. I don't know which one it is. There's so many leagues and everything for this high school. So please send that in to us. We'd love to get it out there and talk about it. I know there was like a 13-pounder caught on my home lake back home in Vernon Lake, Steve. Which I think that lake in the last week and a half has spit out a 13 and an 11. A lot of the guys were not going to want me to talk about that. But, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that we want to know about. We want to discuss on the show, but you got to get it to us. So
yeah, that's good. And I'm the same way. You can contact me directly my personal Facebook page, Steve Graff, which is how the Elite Outdoors contacted me. Mm-hmm. And Michael, he contacted me through that. And or again, as Kevin said, go to our Tackle Talk Live Facebook page, message us. We'll make sure we get the information out to everybody. Okay. Upcoming events. This weekend's big weekend. Lot going on. Kevin and I have a lot to talk about next week. Yeah. ABA Louisiana Pro League will kick off their season on Caddo Lake. That's going out of Earl Williams. Also on the 15th, this Saturday, Bass Champs number 2 will be taking place on Lake Fork, out of Lake Fork Marina and Motel. The 15th, also this weekend, BFL number 3 will be taking place on Toledo Bend out of Cypress Bend Park. And the next day, this is that new series, Elite Outdoors. It's their individual series. The results we gave you a while ago is their team series. This is an individual thing. No forward-facing sonar is used in this, and they go out of Sandy Beach there on Lake of the Pines. So, Kevin, what we got after that?
Well, and also this week, Steve, you got the Bass Open at Sam Rayburn.
Yes. Yes.
I forget what dates, but it's this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere right there. But the BAS is open. So we're going to have a lot to choose from as far as who we want to have on next week as far as winners go. So maybe there'll be another mega bag caught and we can have that winner on.
If you're not catching 40 pounds, you ain't going to be on, okay?
Well, as Riley said, as I called Riley, he says, if I'm hearing from your guys, it's been a good weekend. So
that's true.
February 22nd, Outlaw Team Series number 2 is on Sam Rayburn. That very next day is the postponed Bill Lewis Rattle Trap Tournament, be February 23rd. Also, February 22nd on Toledo Bend is the Toledo Bend Bass Open Series. Make sure I'm saying that right. Matt, forgive me. Let me make sure. Let me get the name of that his new trail. The new trail.
Bend Bass Series.
I got it here. Give me just one. Here it is. Toledo Bend Bass Series. There we go. My bad. I for some reason I never can get that right. Its first tournament is on February 22nd, Toledo Bend, north of the bridge, middle Pendleton Bridge and north. And then February 28th and March 1st, Steve. I know y'all had the solo 150 at Lake of the Pines.
Yeah. And as Kevin's already alluded to, we're going to start talking probably even more about the Toledo Bend Bass Series. That's a great setup. I really like the format of that whole deal. Fish north of the bridge, and then next week they fish, or next turn they go south.
And no forward-facing sonar.
I just think that's a great deal.
Yeah, and no forward-facing sonar. So it's going to be interesting to see how many boats he has come out for that. I think Matt Stewart, a friend of ours, is running that, and he's doing a good job with it, putting it together. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes about with that. I hope they have a great turnout.
All right, before we get to our products, we got lake levels real quick. Toledo Bend's at 169.49. That's 2.51 feet low. 10-day gain has come up 5.52 inches. 24-hour gain 1.08 inches. Sam Rayburn's at 164.4. It's 2.04 inches above pool, so it's right at pool right now. 10-day loss, 3.36 inches. They're pulling on it a little bit. 24-hour had a little game coming in, water from the north end from that rain we've had north of here. 0.24 inches it's came up. Lake of the Pines is at 229.52. It's down 5.76 inches. 10-day gain is 6.36, again, with all the rain they had north of there. 24-hour loss of 1.56. They are pulling it. And by the way, that water goes from there down to this next lake, Caddo. That's what feeds Caddo Lake, is Lake of the Pines. Lake of the Pines is Caddo Lake is now 169.78. It's up 1.28 feet. 10-day gain of 2.04 inches. 24-hour gain of 0.48. So again, when they're pulling on pines, that means Caddo's probably coming up. So always keep that in mind. You can always tie those two together, Kev.
Yep.
All right. Have you got a Shimano?
We do. Main thing I want to do is kind of introduce some guys that really don't, know a lot about the Shimano rod series. This is a rod. It's a $200 retail rod, 209, the Zodius, spinning and casting. This is one of my favorite rods for the price point, Steve. It's an incredible, really good spinning rod, but it has the let me move this here. Oh, so it's got the hollow grip handle on it. Okay, we got the C14 reel seat, real sensitive. Just a really good rod with the high power X technology from Shimano. Guys, don't sleep on the Shimano line of rods. They got a really good rod line. You want to check them out, from the Intenza to the Corrado. This is the Zodius, and then the next one is the X Pride. The X Pride series is like 289. That X Pride series, that's what I have went to for all of my rods. I have completely switched over to the X Pride, but I do have several of the Zodius spinning rods. I really like. They're really lightweight, and they have real good sensitive feel with that carbon C14, but seat on the reel, and the carbon grip on the handle. So
yeah,
it's a really good. That Zodius is a really good rod line for that $200 price package. The Intenza is a little bit lower. I think it's $129. The Intenza, it's right at that $100 price range. That is another really good rod for the line. So don't sleep on the Shimano rod line, guys. You want to make sure to check it out. If you got any questions, reach out to me if you got any questions about any of them, or talk to your dealer.
And speaking of rods, I got something I want to talk to you about. Rod covers. Guys, we all know how the damage we can do to the eyes of our rod when we're taking them in and out of our rod lockers or toting them around. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's if you ain't got rod socks, rod covers, whatever you want to call them, there's different kinds. Different brands are out there. Just make sure you get some. But there's one I just started using. I ordered them this year. Matter of fact, they were kind of my personal Christmas present to myself. They're from Gill Fishing, and you can put a hook in them, and it comes out real easy, to whereas the mesh kind, it can be a little challenge to get some of those treble hooks out of those mesh. But these Gill Fishing, I even got covers for the back of my Talons, my Raptors on the back of my boat for traveling long distance, and they are great covers. And they're made out of the same material as this right here is, but these Gill Fishing rod covers are really nice. You can adjust them with the strap. You can put it on there, keep them good and snug. And but they good quality product from Gill Fishing. If you're not familiar with them, look them up online. And they don't sponsor us. I'm just giving them some pretty good PR. But the main thing is get covers for your rods if you don't have them, because it will save you from doing some damage to your rods, especially your rod tips when you're taking them in and out of your rod locker. So, all right, Kev, you got anything else?
I think that does it for this week, Steve. Big weekend, a lot going on all the lakes. Everybody be careful out there. And again, send us results in, if you can, of those tournaments so we can make sure and talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, all you local guys that'll be fishing this weekend, good luck, man. We're pulling for you, and hopefully somebody like a Daryl Gleason, maybe Daryl has a good tournament this weekend over at the Open and comes through in a winning fashion. So good luck to all you guys that are from this region fishing the BAS Open on Rayburn. All right, we appreciate you tuning us in. Please check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, however way you listen to a podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, like so many have already done, please message us on our Facebook page. Kevin will send out a packet to you, a detailed packet as to how to make that happen. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff, thank you for listening. Appreciate you watching. Till next week, we'll see you more Tackle Talk Live.